caught your show at the bitter end. Congratulations, you had a great turnout and you were well received. What's next for you with the North Node?
Going on a small little tour to London, Stockholm, Copenhagen, and home to in Denmark where my parents live. I have a small concert set up there, and also just trying to get to do some smaller gigs in those three cities. No dates are set for it, but it will be. Hopefully, I'll do some little open mics type things.
Okay.
I'm also just visiting friends. It happens to be one of those work and fun experiences. Yes, and then I'm doing a fundraiser on May 4th for the Scandinavian American Theatre Company here in the city on May 4th. And also a small concert at some time in May before I go at the Danish church, but it still hasn't really been decided on. But I'm sure it will be interesting. There's a lot of early preparation. It's my first album, so there's a lot of first things that one has to do, like introduce oneself to the music community and try and get gigs and do that whole thing.
Develop your brand.
Developing my brand. That's what I'm doing. Exactly.
Okay.
I'm developing my brand. That's
right.
the short answer.
På en trappesten og beundrer det smukke ved livets smil. Her midt i verdens land. Livet ruller forbi i min kæmpende storbys poesi. Her i hjertet for evigt min fantasi. Mens livet ruller lejende forbi.
The songs in your CD are sung in Danish and English. Now, how do you decide what songs are to be written in what language?
Well, it doesn't really. It happens sort of more in a way where you don't. I don't know. Inspiration is tricky. Creativity is tricky. I don't think that I really think so much about that. There's certain kind of song that I want to write. The song usually comes in different kinds of ways. First, sometimes the music comes first, a chord progression or a melody. Sometimes the words come first and they are more something that I then sit by the piano and try to find a melody for. But most of the time I would say they come sort of when they want to come. Like the song realizes itself when it's ready to be realized, and sometimes it's in Danish and sometimes it's in English. The songs are different to me though. The Danish ones seems more sort of spontaneous and childish to me, or like dealing with different, less mature problems, less complicated problems.
Okay.
Whereas the English ones tend to have more like a complexity that the Danish ones just don't really seem to have. I don't really speak Danish that much, and so maybe the fact that was my mother tongue and my first language, and then I haven't spoken it much for 15 years, maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know, but they are somewhat different.
It's self-explanatory, I believe. Hi, Jimmy. It's actually worse when you actually care. It's worse when your bubble bursts. It's actually worse. It's actually worse when you want him too much. It's worse that he never calls. It's actually worse. It's easy to be alone. It's easy to be free. It's easy to say no. It's hard to want more. It's actually worse. It's actually worse to admit that you care. To admit that there is nothing there.
She plays well, but you can't mic that close. And when you're up on the stage,
No, but she has an electric guitar that's similar, like an acoustic.
she needs to bring a small amp, and you need to rehearse at least twice with the electric guitar, or that guitar plugged in, because it's going to sound very different for you
Oh yeah.
on stage.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that what you're playing and what she's doing isn't doing this, because a
Yeah.
little bit yesterday it was doing that a little bit.
Yeah.
But
that's sort of the thing. But I know that with those are
because that happens if you have a piano and a guitar, no matter what, because they're both chord instruments,
Right.
and they both hold that.
Yeah, and that was partly because we were still in the practice.
Yeah, of course. No,
So every
it's
time-
good to get as close to what you're going to do
Yeah.
as possible.
Right.
And how are you miking the violin?
She's gonna do by a standing mic,
They probably have one.
which they have. Yeah,
Yeah.
like just a regular standing.
Yeah.
On the top of the hill where the wind is strong, I look out over the sea and see what it is. Life far away from here.
Okay, any words of advice for aspiring singers-songwriters out there?
Just do it. Do it. Just go do it. And don't do it because you want to be famous. God, I mean, do it because you think it's fun. And if it's fun, you know, the rewards will be there. It's about it being fun and getting better at it. And then everything else doesn't really matter that much, I think. I mean, at least it doesn't for me. But yeah, go out there and do it. Make the mistakes. Dare to make the mistakes and just do it. Yep.
Try it.
That's a great idea.
Moonlight kisses his pale white skin. His sound comes from deep within. Golden silvery glow all around. Secrets that he's found. A breath that we share. Fingers caught in his hair. Lips that touch everything inside. Touch and relinquish your pride. My fingers strike the strong line of his back. All the things I love find a favorite spot. I'm cold and he's not. Hearts that melt like warm ice. We don't think twice about the fights. We just fall into a pool of light, into a passionate swell. Moonlight kisses his pale white skin and reaches me deep within.
Hej alle sammen i Danmark, hvis I ser på det her. Hej, hej, hej. Tusind tak for alt jeres støtte. Det er, kan godt være, at man er helt herovre på den anden side af Atlanten, men det betyder rigtig meget for mig at vide, at der altid sidder nogen hjemme i Danmark og tænker på mig.